Ah, Western New York. I won't miss this. Going to Arizona for a week. Until then, time for a week in review. Hey, stopping into a local comic shop that I don't go to that often. This place in particular has a lot of trade paperbacks. He's kind of an old curmudgeon-y guy, old school comic book shop. Doesn't believe in CGC or any of that stuff, or rebagging. I'll show you maybe if he's not around, because I think he'd get pissed if I did this. But anyway, that is... called Wonderland Comics Science and Nature Shop. It's in a plaza, there's a post office and a subway and stuff like that. So I'm gonna head in, see what I get. Hey, well, here we are again. Very busy week, I think, as always is the case. I'm going on vacation for 9 days out to Arizona. Hopefully get to the Grand Canyon. I'm going to try to shoot some video. If I'm lucky enough to find a comic shop or an antique shop that has comics, I'm going to do some video there. I don't know how coverage is out there. I think when you get out to the desert, it's pretty spotty. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. You can see by the videos before this, the winter storm in Western New York is going crazy again. It looks like a snow globe outside right now. So I'm pretty glad to be leaving tomorrow morning. Nice thing is I have people coming to stay at the house, so I don't have to worry about the animals and all that kind of stuff. So that's always comforting. I made a couple comic stops this week. I went to a comic shop, as you saw in the video. It's called Wonderland Comics. The guy there is very old school, just very resistant to anything modern, eBay, slabbing, any of that kind of stuff. I don't think he's rebagged his books in 20 years, but every now and again you go in there and you can find some gems and some stuff like that. And then after that, I met my buddy Mike out, and he presented me with a book that was on my 2018 list. So he saw the video, he knows I want that book, or this book, and he sent me a text. He was at a local comic shop and said, I found this here, it looks pretty nice. They have it graded this way, I think we can do better with it. So I said, yeah, go ahead and get it for me. So he grabbed it and cleaned it, and he pressed it, and it's gorgeous. So without further ado, I showed it Wednesday night, so this is a rerun for some of you, but there it is. And it turned out wonderful. He just really did a great job on it. And one minor tick in that upper right corner is pretty much the only flaw that I can see on it. Back cover is really clean. I love this cover. I think it's very underrated. I remember seeing this when I was a kid and always wanted to get it. And it's a hard copy to pick up. It's not that it's super valuable or anything, but it just seems to be one that has eluded me for a long time. So let's do this ceremony here. We have Detective Comics 402 off the list. And when I was looking at this the other day, I was thinking about it too. Under the new thought process I have, I don't know that I want all these now. I'm starting to think, I don't know that I want Miss Marvel 1 anymore, and I don't know if I want Premiere 1 anymore. Mostly just because of just chasing them around, the time, effort to do that, and then the cost. I'd rather spend that towards getting Avengers 4, All-Star Western 10. I had a near miss on that one this week too. I asked a couple questions of a vendor. His description wasn't great, and by the time he answered me, someone had already made an offer and it sold. So you snooze, you lose, I guess. Anyway, I went to that shop and I was able to pick up this previews magazine. I flipped it over and saw that, and it doesn't float my boat. So I won't be buying any books that are venomized. I guess if you liked it, that's cool. I mean, it's pretty intense cover there, right? But for Weapon X. So it looks like there's some cool stuff coming out. A lot of these books, they've gone back to the original number sequencing. So I see Daredevil's over 600, and Spider-Man's getting close to 800, and the Hulk's at 715. Iron Man's at 599. So I think that's a way of drawing people back in. I'm sure they'll renumber if sales go down. Anytime you throw number 1 on a book, things just skyrocket. I picked up a few other things when I was out. I am continuing to read Marvel 2-in-1. This cover's really great. It's a cover swipe of Fantastic Four #1, except you got Doctor Doom in there. I haven't read it yet, so pretty excited. I like the direction this is going. I think the artwork's pretty good. I like the writing. I know a lot of people are harsh on Chip Zdarsky, but I don't have any frame reference. I've never read anything he's done, so I like what I've seen so far, and it's only 1 issue, so I guess it's not that much. I picked this up. I had it for $1. Stan Lee and Jim Shooter. I did see last night Stan Lee was taken to the hospital with some kind of heart issues, but I guess he was unstable. I haven't checked this morning, so hopefully he's okay. He is 95. I mean, every day he wakes up, he's got to feel pretty fortunate, but hopefully, hope for the best for him. Anyway, made me think of him when I got that. I did get this, which I really love. It's Forever People #1. Now, I've had 2 other copies of this, and I've slabbed them. I slabbed one of them and sold it, and it came back a 7.0, but it had a very yellow cover on it, and it was great other than that, but the yellow cover, for some reason, I just don't like when they're yellow. And then the other one I sent in too, so we'll see what that comes back as, but this one I'm keeping. It's just, I haven't seen one this white ever in my hands before. It's a really, really nice copy. With the press, it's got some dimpling in it, so I think that's why they had it marked down. But once I press this thing out, I think it's going to be an 8.0 or better all day. But it's not so much that. I just like the white cover and always wanted to have this. It's a joke between me and my son. We text each other that sometimes. He's away at school, so he'll randomly text me stuff, movie quotes like from Galaxy Quest or something like that, and I'll do the same to him. So that's one of the ones that we always quoted to each other. Try the boom tube if you dare, and nothing else to it. So it can be at 2 in the morning. It's just something we do. It's kind of fun. Then I was also fortunate enough to pick up a whole bunch of treasuries, and I got these online, all from the same vendor, and he combined shipping. And anyway, Doctor Strange, pretty awesome. I did go through this one, and the art is interesting because it's Gene Colan, and then there's also Ditko in here, and it is really cool to see all this different stuff. So if you don't collect these are really a cool way to read a bunch of stories. It's before they did trade anything like trade paperbacks or the omnibuses or anything like that. This was kind of like that. Then I got 1975 Spider-Man. They did these one-offs. The main treasury, Marvel treasuries, were 1 through 28. And I'm close to having all of them. I think I need probably 4 more. And then they had these single one-offs. So here's another one from 1975. Savage Fists of Kung Fu. So you had Iron Fist. The heck did these guys call themselves? They were also in a Marvel team-up or a 2-in-1, I think, if I can remember. I think it was a Spider-Man. You got Shang-Chi. But it's pretty cool. Cool stuff. Huh, I never realized it before. Herb Trimpe did this one here. It's strange seeing him do stuff other than Hulk for me. It's written by Chris Claremont, so. But the neat thing about these is the artwork is so humongous in them. So that's another good one. Can't say much about this other than I let the completist come out in me. I started to thumb through this. I can't read it. I don't get it. Maybe I just don't get it. I don't know. It's kind of like music, I think. Sometimes you just either get it or you don't. Howard the Duck. This one was real cool. Conan. Back cover is especially awesome. There's no writing on it at all. No lettering. Just look at all that. That's a mound of bodies, huh? Swinging away. And the last one is the first one, and I've been chasing this, and it's got some issues to it, but I'm okay with it. People have been, I've been looking for this for about 2 years, and I've seen it going for over $200, and pristine, and I'm gonna read it, so I don't really want it in pristine. So it's Spider-Man, the First Treasury. Came out in 1974, the year I started collecting. It's got a little bit of dog ear here, but it's actually too big to fit in my press. Well, it'll just fit, so I don't want to risk getting any score lines. So I'm gonna take this over to my buddy Mike's after I clean it, and he's got a really big press, so I'll give it a press. And then I got bags I'm going to go through, and when I get back from vacation, I'm going to clean all my treasuries. They're a little bit rough, but that's okay. I'm going to give them their best treatment and put them away, and that'll be that. So that's what I picked up this week. So it was a good week, fun. I had a lot of fun. Didn't cost a lot, and it was nice that my friend was out and he saw that book for me, and I've been getting like Nick and Anthony have been sending me links to when they see a book that I want, that they know that maybe isn't on my 2018 list, but that I might be interested in, either from Comic Link or the CGC forum. And it's pretty cool when you have people looking out for you like that, and I try to do the same for everybody. So it's one of the great things about this comic community. I know when I see others get really cool books and they get that glint in their eye, I feel like I'm getting that book too, so it's really cool. It's a fun thing about it. But going through the culling process, still pulling books out, and I pulled a dozen out that I gave when I met Mike out for dinner. I gave them to him, and we kind of give our rough ratings of what we think they're going to be, so it's kind of fun when we get them back. But they'll go in probably this week. He's got another couple orders going into CGC, so that'll be another 12 I'll get back. I'll have probably close to 30, I think, by the time I'm done. I have another probably 20 to 30 books I'm going to pull out of my collection to see what they do. It's books that I thought I really wanted, but then sometimes when you get them in your hand, you don't know, you don't remember why. And I think it goes back to the other videos I've talked about, to sit back and think about what you're doing. And it's the evolution that I've gone through since I came back into collecting, and kind of figuring out what I want to collect really. And I don't need to label it. I'm not this kind of a collector or that kind of collector. Some things I do want to complete, some things I just want one-offs, like Detective Comics or Batman. There's just certain comics, stories, or covers that I really like. So that's what I'm going to do. But as I was going through and doing the culling, it got me thinking about, this will be this week's sermon, is loving the stuff you already have. I see a lot of videos where people will get new books and they put them immediately in the Mylar and they're beautiful and all that, but then I wonder, do those just get stuck in a box or a drawer or a shelf and never see the light of day again because they're so excited to get on to the next thing? And try not to be preachy, but take your books out and look at them. I know I went through my stuff and I just grabbed some here that I just see these and just the memories they evoke, and I mean, these things all together are probably worth $1, but I love them, and I just thought I would show them to everybody. It's these two Daredevil books, great Gil Kane covers. First one is Daredevil 124 with Copperhead in it. I think he's a Golden Age character. It was always cool to me, when he kills people, he puts pennies on their eyes afterward. It's kind of weird. When I was a kid, it freaked me out. But this one is one of my all-time favorite. I'd say probably top 10 favorite covers. It's just a great Daredevil 125. Just throwing him into an open grave. It's just awesome. It's a great, if you don't have these, you can pick them up pretty inexpensive, but it's a good read. Those two in particular I really enjoy. And then, silly ones like this, it's just a reprint of Fantastic Four 75, but, these to me are awesome. These all came out of my landfill collection box, my original off the rack, and you can just see by the wear on these things. These things were deeply loved. They went everywhere with me, and I read them. And I remember looking at these. This is where I got the Kirby bug. Obviously, you just look at his. This is when Kirby was just nailing it. I think during that whole run. I think after like 45 Fantastic Four, all the way till when he completed his work on those, is just probably his best work. At least what I enjoyed the most. And then, Justice League. I remember this cover. I looked at this 100 times. It's always funny how he's in a wheelchair with a blanket on him. They always put blankets on people in wheelchairs. I've never seen it in person. I have a good friend that's in a wheelchair, and he doesn't ever have a blanket on. So, then you got the Red Tornado. Great cover. GI Combat. I always liked that one with the haunted tank. He's sliding off the boat. It's really cool. I loved the war comics when I was a kid. And then this is definitely one of my favorite Gil Kane covers. It's Thor 222, him and Hercules, just wailing away. It's just a great cover. But take your books out and enjoy them. Let them out to play, I call it. I have that rack behind me there. It's just I picked it up on Amazon. I think it's meant to be a candy rack on a store counter, but it works perfect for comics. It'll hold 10. I don't put them in because it'll include the Captain America drawing there that I got from Bob McLeod. But you can put 2 on the shelf, and I rotate them out. And I have a window here, so I do rotate them because I don't want them to get sun bleached. But it's nice to look out and see them, and I think I'm going to put this handful of books out, and someone will probably be watching the video and like, why has he got that raggedy ass 50-cent Thor book out? But to me, this is as valuable as my Spider-Man 300 that I have. So let your books out and enjoy them, I guess, is my sermon for the day. Love what you already have, and really appreciate it. And I find myself when I watch these videos a lot too. When I see guys getting books, and when I first came back, I would always look at videos where people were buying big books and stuff. But now I find that I gravitate more towards the ones where there's genuine joy, and some of them are $1.50 books. I'm just enjoying watching their chase. It's kind of cool. Richard, I think it is. He's going after all the picture frame, Marvel books, the 20 centers. He wants to collect them all, and I love the 20-cent era, and I really love those picture frame books. So it's fun watching him chase after those and show the books that he has, because you kind of feel like you're along for the ride. So that's kind of cool. So something like that I think is great. And I watched Great Legend and Anthony. They both had videos recently about inspiration and things like that, and I think you can find inspiration in some of these videos that just they seem, to me, it's small ways, but it affects me, and it has helped me evolve into how I'm collecting now. So I guess that's the end of my little sermon. I watched X-Files last night. I kind of liked it. I liked how they brought the sun back in. We'll see where that goes. Next week looks real good. So I'd say it's tilting back up again. So I don't know. I guess that meter's bouncing back and forth like an old VU meter on an amplifier. But we'll see where it goes. But I enjoyed it. I could recommend it. I think it's pretty good. So, but I think that's all I got. Hopefully I'll be able to get to you on the road. I see this has gone past well past 15 minutes. So I'm not meeting that goal, I guess. Sorry. But until next time, keep reading, keep collecting. Let your comics out to play.